So, in Update 29, we are going to be doing a graphical upgrade to several of the maps in State of Decay 2. Specifically, the first 3 maps, the ones that are the oldest that launched with the game at the outset. Right here, we're seeing Cascade Hills, some before and after video of Cascade Hills that Megan put together for us, which is great. Brant, do you want to talk us through a little bit of sort of the artistic approach we took to Cascade Hills and the changes that we're making to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Valkyrie, the outsource group or the co-development group that we worked with, did such an amazing job updating the lighting and the trees and rocks and stuff like that in our last 2 maps that before they moved on, we were begging them, please, for the love of God, make our original maps, have this same beauty to them. And we so they jumped at it. They recreated new vegetation, new rocks. So the rocks are actually they work with each ecosystem for each map. So they're not just sort of the same standard rock all over the place. You'll see here that these ones have moss and stuff on the top. They're much more detailed. They have a scaling UV setup so that they, depending on how big we make them, they don't get the texture doesn't get blown out. They've done a lot of really nice things here. And more importantly, the lighting is because geographically in my brain hole, Cascade Hills is not very far, like, I don't know, biome wise from places like I'm losing it.
Places in Eastern Washington, is that what we're looking at? Or
I just keep wanting to say our code name for the Providence Ridge. Sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
So relatively close ecologically to between Cascade Hills and
Providence Ridge.
Providence Ridge. And so you're going to see a lot of the same or similar lighting setups. Not quite as misty in this map as Providence Ridge, but they're relatively close to each other. They're on probably within. If these were real towns, these would be right over next to each other over the Cascade Mountains. So relatively close to each other. So you're going to see some of the same or similar lighting setups and things like that, and trees as well, with a few differences. The other thing that you'll notice between the old and new versions of this is that they did a new set of sort of background hills and trees and things like that. So it doesn't quite feel as much like you're in a bowl in each one of these maps. They feel like they do continue on, and what they've done here is just fantastic. I can't sing their praises enough. They've done such a wonderful job for us.
So one thing I was going to show real quick is you were mentioning the fact that this map is not going to be as misty as Providence Ridge, but at certain times of day, like right here, if we cut to sunrise, you do get a little bit of that mist effect here, which is this is probably the most distinctive time of day in Cascade Hills is 6 in the morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's not it's not quite the same location, so there's going to be a little bit different timing on that mist, but you're still going to have it for sure.
Yeah, and you've got this sort of orange tint to it, and because it only appears kind of during the sunrise, so you get this kind of orange, sunlit tint to it, which is really cool and makes it stand out from the mist in Providence Ridge.
Well, and I really like this color difference. The original Cascade Hills was a little bit green, had a greenish tint to it, and I feel like this is a much more natural feeling lighting to the map.
You can see my beautiful skills at this game, by the way. Part of the problem was I was watching actually the preview window in OBS instead of the my actual feed from the game, and so I was dragging behind the zombies just a little bit. Oh crap! I've attracted a bunch of them though. Let's move a little bit, drag these guys back home, and get them to where my people can help me out. So one thing that I was highlighting a little bit before that I should probably point out again, let me switch the time of day to closer to like midday. And this is a thing that that I can do, because I've got all the cheats enabled right now. I'm not playing the retail version of the game. I'm playing the version that we've got that we use when we're developing with all of our tools and all of our cheats. So I can change the time of day absolutely at will. But unfortunately, if I'm completely surrounded by zombies, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble showing off some of the stuff I want to show off, because I know specifically Valkyrie's put a lot of effort into the way that light plays through trees. And I highlighted that a little bit before. Let me just see where the sun is in this game. Oh man, it's just, I picked a time of day which is just a little bit cloudy. So we're not really going to be able to get the sun shining directly through the trees. But you can kind of see like the way that, when the leaves that don't have a lot of other leaves behind them are lighter. You can sort of see the light from the sky coming through them, whereas the ones that have a lot more, that are thicker towards the middle of the tree, are darker. And it just gives them this really natural look, which just looks really nice when you're getting up close to them.
Yeah, they solved some volumetric lighting issues that we just didn't have time to in the first game, or the first time we put this out.
Yeah, first iteration again.
Yeah, and it's the fidelity of the trees and shrubbery is 10 times better. One of the things that you might find that we've been trying to track down, but still are running into, is because the trees are all new. Sometimes they poke out of the ground instead of stick in like they were, but we're tracking those down. But just super happy with how the vegetation looks. I think it just makes for a much better, much more natural feeling map than we had before.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I'm really glad that we that Valkyrie put together these before and after images, but let me grab the Cascade Hills ones again, is because once you sort of are looking at a tree, it's really easy to just sort of anchor yourself in the new tree and think, oh, this is how the trees have always looked. And it's nice to be able to sort of look at this and see like the changes. Like you look at the trees and then see how much sort of fuller and softer and sort of richer the shape of these trees are when you switch from the older version to the newer version. I just want people to look at this so they can understand the work that Valkyrie put into this and the difference that they made.
Another big thing they did was they repainted all of our ground textures. So they're much more high fidelity. They look much better. So much better than the original ground textures we had. The amount of work they put into this is phenomenal.
So let me look at a couple of other times of day in Cascade Hills so we can sort of see, how the lighting progresses over the course of the day. So this is the evening. This is sunset.
We have a winner.
Oh, we do. Who's? Oh, I didn't catch that. Oh, Dimitri Graziano. It looks like he was watching on YouTube. I know him from Facebook. It looks like he's one of our winners. That's exciting. Congratulations, Dimitri. And, folks are wondering, by the way, what difficulty I'm playing on right now. I'm only playing on Dread. Lately, I've been playing on Nightmare. I traditionally have thought of myself as a Dread player, but lately I've upped my game, and I've been playing on Nightmare, but not when I'm trying to show off the aesthetics of the game. I figure, these gunshots that I'm doing to take care of these zombies and get them out of the way so we can look at the map would be attracting everybody if I was playing on Nightmare, or certainly on Lethal. See, right now, look, I already brought all the boys to the yard, and that was not the intention. Just firing a couple of mare's leg shots. Even on Dread, that's dangerous.
Speaking of mare's leg, Geoffrey, do you want to show them after you clear yourself of this current problem, you want to show them the new
inventory icons? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me just get this one last zombie. Squish, yeah. So right before I get to that, let's just look at one more lighting example here in Cascade Hills. So let me grab Midnight. So here we are in the middle of the night. You can see it's got this, we've been going lately for this kind of Hollywood night. Lately, originally we went with nights that are very, very dark, extremely black. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. And now with these sort of relit versions of the maps, we're going for a more Hollywood night where it's like, you can still see everything, and it's blue, and it's still indistinct, and the darkness still matters, but you don't feel like you're completely blinded by it. And there is sort of this sort of murky sort of wetness to the air at night, too, which is really kind of nice. It gives it this sort of really creepy, kind of swampy feel. And you can see this kind of is a little bit reminiscent of the sort of the greenish Dark Knight in Providence Ridge, though this one is a little bit bluer, I think, if my memory is serving me right.
Yeah, and that the darkness of our nights was a long running debate in the company,
Yeah.
and
So whatever your opinion was of it as a player, there was somebody in the company who agreed with you.
right, exactly.
It's something that it's difficult, deciding exactly how you're going to make your night work. I mean, there's pluses and minuses for every choice, and so we've decided to move more towards the Hollywood night, but we still are trying to retain as much as we can of that really sort of dark, creepy horror atmosphere. But we're getting more of the horror from from sort of the vibe and the colors and the fog, and we're trying to rely less on simply not being able to see things as your source of horror. And we're hoping that that's going to have a similar positive effect.